Teaching for Impact and Engagement. So please join me in welcoming Leslie Harrelson.
Good morning. Thank you so much for spending some of your Fridays doing this. This is one of my favorite things in the world to talk about. I'm doing it from the perspective of someone teaching literature, but I think it's relevant to all kinds of teaching. All right? Quickly, in 1970, my mother sold her engagement ring so that her child, who at the time was completely pigeon-toed, 1970, I was completely pigeon-toed, had a profound speech impediment, and was having difficulty reading. And my mother sold her engagement ring so that I could go to Christ Episcopal Day School, where they had a different approach to learning. And basically I was taught by myself for the next 10 years. But what I learned from Mary Jane and from Mrs. McKinstry, who were the founders of that school, was you can teach literature or anything else in the accepted order, in the traditional way, in the chronological order. And I noticed when I started teaching college in 1989 that people tended to teach particular literature in the most traditional way. You got the Norton Anthology of Literature, you started at the beginning, and you went in chronological order. The least appealing order there is. I mean, unless you're a line. And I just didn't understand why they were doing it that way. So I decided I've got to think of a different way to approach this. I've got to change the way this is done. I looked out 12 years ago at my literature students, and I noticed that they seemed intensely miserable. They seemed as miserable as people who were in a classroom, who were learning things that they couldn't possibly use. And I couldn't understand how we could be reading literature together and they could look that unhappy. And I realized, in a Shakespearean sort of way, it was up to me to change their minds about literature. And I did 3 things. Number 1 is I began to do relationship-based teaching. The most important thing, this has been reinforced by the research I've done in the last 3 years. I looked at our numbers. If you Google Dalton State College, one of the first numbers that you see is our graduation rate. And golly. And the way now you can go and see how that number is determined, and it's extremely unfair and it's very biased, and I don't like it at all. But I thought, what can I do to get those kids engaged with what I'm doing and make them want to stay here, to finish, to understand the value of learning? So I began to research relationship-based learning, where what you do when they come into the classroom is basically, it's not, I'm the teacher, you're the student, it's basically, we're on a date. And what do you do on a date? Well, you eat, so I give them food. And you have some shared experience that you can go back and use as a base to relate other things to. Well, if you're in my literature class, World War I was the class I was teaching at the time, it starts with Egyptian love poetry, which, we all had that period when we taught hieroglyphics in high school. Hey, I have as much fun with the next person, but it's extremely dumb. And it's followed by Sappho, who is also quite dumb, who is followed by Ovid, who is interesting, but by that time we've lost the number. And I thought, no, I want to start with something amazing so that they will have the best possible experience in those first 2 classes, and then, ta-da, I'll have them hooked. And I come by this naturally. My parents were both extremely poor people. My mother was born in Mountain City, Tennessee, coal miner's daughter. My father was born in Brookline, Massachusetts, the child of a cook and a guy who would put in curbstones for the city of Brookline. And if you met them now, they are completely fictional. They are total creation. And I understand that there is a power to transform in words. The words you use, the ways the order in which things are presented can transform a person's understanding of it. You know, the example I always give when I'm telling people to teach literature by theme, for impact, and in a relationship-based setting is it's a timing thing. When people first come into a classroom, we have about, according to the last scholarly article I read on this, teachers have about 90 seconds to get a student's attention and convince them that what they're doing is worthwhile. So establish a relationship, start with something amazing rather than whatever's at the beginning. Don't worry about what's at the beginning. You pick the thing that is most important to you and make explicit how it can be used outside the classroom. I'm teaching you Medea not because the Greeks were important, not because Euripides writes like an angel, but because the lesson of the play, which is remember who you're dealing with, is a fantastic lesson, whether you're in ancient Greece or in Dalton in 2019. Gentlemen, if you marry a barbarian witch queen, don't dump her later and expect to get away with it. All right. Teaching like writing is a process of discovery. From my perspective, I come from a family of writers. Okay, we are strong believers in the power of words. And what I found was I was being consistent with the way I was taught. Because of my mother's generosity and application, I stand in front of you able to speak clearly without impediments. As the result of having braced feet, I do not have pigeon toes anymore, and I have a wide breadth of experience with both literature and experience in the classroom. And yet, I was holding on to traditional teaching styles long after they were appropriate, particularly for adults. So what I did was I kept a in-class journal, and I began to reflect on my teaching. And I looked for quantifiable things. Right in a number of my literature classes, the absence rates were quite high, since they looked visual, not really that surprising. And I had what I felt was an unacceptable TWF rate. And when I transformed the way I was teaching in British literature, world literature, and English 1102, and instead of going genre by genre separately and in the order of the textbook, I saw a 12% change in my DWF rate. And I think it was about 0.2 or 0.27 in average increase in my student evaluations. I'm not saying that our purpose is to make happy students, but people tend to learn more and stay for the end of things if they are not miserable. Teaching is about relationships between teacher and student, between the student and the materials, and between the students and themselves. The only reason to learn anything is to become a better version of yourself and have a better life outside the classroom. And James Comer said no significant learning occurs without a significant relationship. And it was reading his works that made me think, I may be honest. Teaching with emphasis on impact, practical chronology, builds relationships from the first day. Learning is not a two-dimensional process. It is compound, aggressive, and generous. And the aggressive is in there purposely. I want to get in the student's space. I want to show, I'm not going to stay up at the, I don't want to stay up at the, I want to get in your head and help you have better lives and make better decisions. And I want to have a good enough relationship with my students that when their learning breaks down, when they can't write the paper, when they can't come to class, they will have the illusion that they have enough of a relationship with me that they will feel comfortable coming to me so that I can help them. The most important part of any class happens outside the classroom. One of my difficulties with student evaluations is that they happen too soon. I think evaluating a teacher at the time, while you are being taught by them, is like evaluating your parents during your childhood.
Middle school.
The teachers who made the most difference with me, Dr. Andoni, who taught me about how writing changes the way your brain works, Dr. Ruffell, who helped me train as a translator, Mrs. Jenny, who taught me that language is a code, and even though I am so dyslexic that looking at text is like trying to read maths, that I could read Shakespeare when I was in first grade because I understood that it was basically a runic code. And she also did things like teaching me hieroglyphics and teaching me Latin, something. It's all languages just the same. When I began this 6 years ago, I did not think that it would change my student evaluations or the number of students who passed my classes or the number of students who sought me out to take other classes from me. And in all three of those areas, I had profound changes, much more than I anticipated. I know you all don't teach literature. I know you teach math and science and all sorts of other valuable things. But I really do encourage you with everything in my being. I love learning things. And I continue to think that if you learn anything well and apply it to your life can be made better for it. However it is that you were taught, particularly if you're teaching in the same paradigm, the same structure that you were taught back in college or graduate school, take a look and see if there's a way to give your students a great first date and then a great relationship in the classroom through the length of your course, but especially in the 10, 20, or 30 years after that. The most satisfying thing that people have said to me 6 years later is when people came and said, I was out in the world and I was doing something and I remembered what we learned about Medea, which is remember who you're dealing with. Suddenly literature influences life and the people are coming back and staying in touch. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.